Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is in session. The court is in session with the announcement docket and the motion to revoke probation docket. First case on the announcement docket. We have 2 cases, cause numbers M329814 and cause number M329816. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Dario Santiangelo Hardaway. Mr. Hardaway, is that your full name? Okay, how you doing, Mr. Hardaway? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Hardaway, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Bruce Smith. Attorney Bruce Smith is not here. However, standing in for Attorney Smith is Attorney Brennan Mitchell. Does Mr. Mitchell have your permission to stand in for Mr. Smith? Mr. Mitchell, how are you doing?
Fantastic, Judge. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. State is represented in this case by Attorney Erica Porter. Attorney Porter, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, Judge.
What is your announcement? And Mr.
Judge, at this time, we'd be requesting a reset on the announcement. There's some additional discovery regarding the K9 in this case that we've sent over to the district attorney's office. Ms. Porter has acknowledged that she received it and said it's going to take a bit of time to get that from the agency.
To get the what?
To get the different documents that we're requesting from the K9.
Okay, now these cases are 3 years old. These are some old cases. I mean,
Right. Well, I got notice yesterday that he wanted these documents, so I'm going to request that, make the request today if possible.
We had
this
sent
week.
those to, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. We had sent those to the prior prosecutor, Lamar, and that was back in 22. It's been passed along.
Right.
It slipped through the cracks. We made sure that Ms. Porter actually had a copy directly sent to her so that she can do what she needs to do on her end, Your Honor. We just asked for a reset for as long as Ms. Porter thinks it's going to take her to get this.
And I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but.
Now, what did you have to get?
K9 reports from the agency, arresting agency.
Training records and things of that nature.
Okay, so I mean, we need to put this in a trial mode. I mean, this is 3 years old.
If I can speak on that, Judge, we will get it. This is a new one for me. I maybe run into it once or twice in my career and want records on the dog. So we're gonna have to get with the agency and, you know, so it's not like we've got a standard protocol to get it like a blood, the discovery on blood alcohol or anything like that. So it's gonna be, now maybe we have a protocol. I'm not aware of it wasn't in this county where I had that requested. So we'll get on it as soon as we can, but of course, gotta understand that this is not a standard
Well, I understand that.
discovery order for that. And I can't speak to anything that Mr. Jackson did.
No, I understand.
So I don't know what, because he didn't leave any notes for me or any notes in the computer about what he. So Ms. Porter is speaking honestly, like we didn't have anything about it, other than if we'd have to go comb through all Mr. Jackson's cases to see the things that we don't know about.
And I wholeheartedly concur with what the state's attorney is. Maybe to the court, I don't hold Ms. Porter accountable for it not being blatantly on top of the file.
No. Well, we're gonna put this on a pretrial docket.
Okay.
I don't know. We can give them about 60 days, I guess. That should be. Okay.
You said October 30th?
Okay, Mr. Hold on. Do we have any bond conditions? Give me my, thank you. I'm gonna need a copy of this. The bond conditions.
Just send it in. Okay.
Hand this to your client.
Yes, Judge.
These are some bond conditions, Mr. Hardaway. And I'm going to go over these bond conditions with you. The document is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Code at Law Number 2. And it reads as follows: following the return of a criminal information in County Code at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. Do you understand that condition? Now, condition number 3 and condition number 4 does not apply. However, condition number 5 does apply. Condition number 5 states defendant is prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition unless defendant is a peace officer as defined by section 1.07 Penal Code, actively engaged in employment as a sworn, full-time, paid employee of a state agency or political subdivision. Do you understand that condition? Now, Mr. Hardaway, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond can be revoked. And if your bond gets revoked, the warrant will be issued for your arrest. You'll be arrested and placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Do you understand? Now, your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Mitchell, you're free to go as well and you have a blessed day. Thank you. Okay. Next case is Damon J. Stanford, cause number M329840. Mr. Stanford, your full name is Damon J. Stanford. Mr. Stanford, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Stanford, you're represented here by your attorney Todd LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc, how are you doing?
Thank you, Pastor.
And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Kobe Hallpower. Attorney Hallpower, how are you doing?
Good, Earl. Thank you.
Mr. LeBlanc, what is your announcement, Mr. Stanford's case?
Judge, I'm inquiring about the felony. Whoops. Did the reset?
It must not be pending. I don't see a felony on here.
Okay.
They're supposed to drop, I was told, they dropped, I had 2 felonies, they dropped one and they told me, I was looking for such and such product that they, all of that stuff is on the deed, everything else is dropped. I was saying, in case I'm still here for a year, we're on probation for a year.
I'll look in the notes, Judge, but
Okay, what I'll do, I'll just hold on and give you time to look in the notes. Okay, y'all just have a seat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said,
discovery in this case. And I didn't realize this case was set today until yesterday, and I called, and I have not received the video yet, but I talked to Karen, and she said she would get it to me today or the next few weeks. So if we could have a couple more weeks or something like that, a month, to get it reset so I can review that. She said it's 16 gigabytes and several different tracks.
Okay,
So if we just get that, then I would ask for a reset.
okay, so how much time you think you need? We're looking about 60 days, that should be
60
enough?
days sounds great. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Back on the announcement, Judge.
yeah. Actually, this office is 1 year today.
It'll be November 1st.
November 1st?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now your full name is Daisy M. Sam?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Sam, your case is gonna be reset to November 1st of 2023. Your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day, Mr. Grove, I think. This is your only case.
Yes, sir.
You'll be free to go as well.
Thank you. Your
And
Honor.
this is cause number M333-822. Please stand in front of the court coordinator. Next case is cause number M334208. Case is style, the state of Texas versus Kenneth L. Dean. I'm doing fine, Mr. Dean. Okay, Mr. Dean. Let's see. Mr. Dean. Well, your full name is Kenneth L. Dean.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Dean?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Dean, back in April, you signed a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. And in that document, you initialed the line stated that you wanted to reset your case to hire your own attorney.
Yes, sir.
Have you hired your attorney?
No, sir. I already called the court trying to get a court appointed and nowhere got back to me.
You appear in court for a court appointment. You don't
Oh.
call the
yeah,
court.
yeah.
I don't know if I don't know what court you called.
Yes.
You called this court asking for a court appointed attorney.
Yes, sir.
And what did they tell you?
Nobody got back to me. You know, I called my bill brother and they gave me this court.
Okay, well, just have a seat. The bailiff is gonna give you some documents to fill out, the judge's explanation. You're gonna have to sign that one, action, stating that you want to apply for court appointed attorney. And then there's another form, it's a Jefferson County affidavit of indigence
Mhm.
that you would have to fill out. And once you fill those forms out, We're gonna ask you to come back up to the bench, we're gonna review them, and we'll see whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. All right, just have a seat. Okay, court is back in session and cause number M329840. Case is filed, the state of Texas versus Damon J. Stanford. Now, Mr. LeBlanc, what is your announcement?
Judge, I think we need to reset it. The prosecutor needs time to talk to the complainant. See about, I think they're gonna dismiss it for payment of the rest of the restitution.
That's correct, Judge. We're gonna do that for just what, we gotta make sure that if her insurance paid for it, then we're only gonna do the deductible. I gotta speak to her to understand whether or not insurance covered it or if it didn't cover it. There's two different amounts.
Yeah, you got one amount, if full amount,
Exactly.
and the other amount is deductible.
I need time to do that. I
That
don't
makes
have time to step out today. So we need to, but there is no deal about dismissing this case for the felony, as was represented by the defendant. That's not what in our notes.
Okay,
So we got a plea agreement. I mean, we got a plea offer. And we need time to make sure what the amount is.
okay.
So just a regular reset.
Just give us a 30-day reset.
October 13th.
Appreciate you, sir.
Okay, this case is reset to October 13th of 2023. See, Mr. Stanford, you have your pants on today, right? Long pants, the last two times. Okay. All right, last two times you had some shorts. All right. Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is in session. The court is in session and cause number M326354. Case is filed, the state of Texas versus Samantha Nicole Jones. Samantha Nicole Jones was scheduled to be in court at 9 a.m. At or about 9 a.m. Samantha Jones' name was called at the courthouse. Do it. Samantha Jones did not answer. The time now is 9:32 a.m. The bailiff just called her name at the courthouse door at 9:31 a.m. And Samantha Jones, again, did not answer. She has not appeared in court. Since the court has been in session, Samantha Jones' attorney is present in court, Mr. Ryan Matuska. State, do you have a motion?
So much possible.
That motion will be granted. Samantha Jones' bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for her arrest. And cause number M326354. Mr. Tuska, you excuse.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. So you extended it for Lindsay Scott. Next case is cause number M332352, case of style of the state of Texas versus Henry A. Deal. Mr. Deal, your full name is Henry A. Deal?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Deal?
Fine, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Deal. You're represented in your case. Well, your attorney of record is attorney Lindsay Scott.
Yes.
However, attorney Scott is not present. Standing in for Ms. Scott is attorney Ryan Matuska. Does attorney Matuska have your permission to stand in for Ms. Scott?
Yes.
And Mr. Matuska, what is your announcement in Mr. Deal's case?
Your Honor, we're asking the court for one more reset to allow Ms. Scott to show Mr. Dill some more evidence in case.
Okay. In essence, what he's saying is that your attorney need to get with you, have a conference with you to show you some more evidence in the case.
Okay.
Talk to him first.
I know, but that's what she told me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna reset it. Just give us a 30-day reset.
October 13th.
Okay, this case is reset to October 13th of 2023. Hey, Mr. Deal,
Yes.
Mr. Matuska is gonna get your reset.
Okay.
Once you get your reset from Mr. Matuska, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too.
And you're free to go as well, Mr. Matuska. You have a blessed day.
You have a nice day.
Thank you. Jefferson County Court of Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session at cause number 23 CCCR 0086, case of style of state of Texas versus Ricky Dwayne Wilson. Mr. Wilson, is that your full name? Mr. Wilson, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Wilson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Wilson? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Wilson, you're represented in your case by your attorney Joel Vasquez. Attorney Vasquez, how are you doing?
Good, John. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Vasquez. Did you waive a record in Mr. Wilson's case?
Yeah, Sean.
Mr. Wilson, I have before me a document that is titled information sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Ricky Dwayne Wilson, on or about February 24th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed a Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Mr. Wilson, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to discharge Mr. Wilson, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Wait for this here. Hey, Mr. Wilson. I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials RW on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Now, is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document here. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Wilson, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2 into evidence?
Yes, sir.
No objection on 1 and 2.
No objection, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted, and the court will take judicial notice of Stage 2, which is in the court's file. Mr. Vasquez, you advised that counsel, Mr. Wilson, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Wilson, your attorney, Mr. Vasquez, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Sir.
Mr. Wilson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I would also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In state for a plea of guilty or no contest, state decree to recommend 50 days in Jefferson County Jail. Before cause, the defendant has credit for 50 days, but asks us to be time served and tax return of the call.
Mr. Wilson, the state is offering that you serve 50 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 50 days in the Jefferson County Jail on this case. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you would not have to pay it because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Now, Mr. Wilson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Wilson, your attorney is going to give you a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition on Eligibility to Possess a Firearm or Ammunition. And in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you of the following. Number 1, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number 2, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number 3, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013A, firearms mean any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is 1, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or 2, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrates Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, Violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Wilson, the model written admonition that has been handed out to you is for your records. This will conclude your case. You're gonna stand in front of the clerk, follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too.
All right, you're welcome. And Mr. Vasquez, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. The clerk is right here.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
You're welcome. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number M334026. Case to solve the state of Texas versus Reuben Sanders. Mr. Sanders, is that your full name?
Sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Sanders?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Sanders, you're represented in your case by your attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
And Mr. Reynolds, what is your announcement in Mr. Sanders' case?
Judge, we've agreed to a JP reduction in the case. We'd ask that the court reset this case for 30 days to allow him to go pay the fine and bring the receipt back.
Okay, JP reduction, 30-day reset. Give us a reset date.
October 13th.
Okay, this case is going to be reset to October 13th, 2023. Mr. Sanders, give you an opportunity to pay the JP fine and court costs.
Yes, sir.
And I guess once that's done, you get a receipt to your attorney to verify that with the, well, not only verify, but give proof to the district attorney's office that it's been paid. And then once that's done, then this case will be reset.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this case is reset to October 13, 2023 for JP reduction. Mr. Reynolds, you can get your reset, and Mr. Sanders, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day, and this is your last case, Mr. Reynolds.
It is, Judge.
You'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else we have?
You know what JP is going to do?
And this is cause number M 334-208. Case is filed in the state of Texas versus Kenneth L. Dean. Mr. Dean, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Dean, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Dean, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Dean, you may put your hand down. Mr. Dean, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials on the line that states you want to apply for a court-appointed attorney? And I also have another document that's titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant's Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Dean, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Dean, I read your answers. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Joel Vasquez. Attorney Vasquez actually is here in court this morning. You may have an opportunity to meet him. If not, Mr. Vasquez will be given information to contact you, and you will also be given information to contact him. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once she gives you that information, you're free to go. If you want to wait around to talk to Mr. Vasquez, you can do that. Just have a seat at that first chair by the wall. Okay, I thought he had to go upstairs to the DA's office
Supposed to go up there and
and
show them that.
show him the
Come back here
receipt
and
and
tell
come
them.
back here, yeah.
Yeah.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session in clause number M333938. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Johnny Wallace. Mr. Wallace, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Wallace? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Wallace, you're represented in your case by your attorney Thomas Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing? And state, I have before me a motion to dismiss Mr. Wallace's case. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the court is signing this dismissal, Mr. Wallace. Your attorney is going to get a copy of this dismissal. Once you get a copy of this dismissal from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay, just please stand in front of the clerk. There it is.
We're already on Baldwin with the plea judgment.
Okay. Next case is cause number M325002. Case is style the state of Texas versus Jonathan Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin, you could come forward. Who's the prosecutor?
Oh, it may be called.
We'll wait for him to come back.
They call. Okay.
This is cause number M325002. Case is style the state of Texas versus Jonathan Wallace. Mr. Wallace, is that your full name?
Jonathan Baldwin.
Oh, excuse me, Jonathan Baldwin.
Yes.
Mr. Baldwin, is that your full name? Mr. Baldwin, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Baldwin, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Baldwin, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Baldwin? You doing wonderful?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Baldwin, that's good. Mr. Baldwin, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Thomas Burbank. Attorney Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. Baldwin's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin, I have before me a document that is titled Information. In this information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office, it alleges that you, Jonathan Baldwin, on or about July 13th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of failure to identify fictitious name. Mr. Baldwin, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this information, Mr. Baldwin, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? Are you pleading, is anybody forcing you to plead no contest? Okay, so you're pleading no contest of your own free will? Okay, Mr. Baldwin, I have before me a document that's titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Baldwin, there are a set of initials, 2 sets of initials. One set is your attorney's initials, Thomas Burbank, and the other set next to Mr. Burbank initials are JB. Did you place your initials on this line next to your attorney's initials, next to a box that's checked, no contender, which means no contest?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, or the next page of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next page, or on the next document, rather, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Baldwin, before you sign and initialed these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Baldwin, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2 into evidence?
Yes, sir.
Any objections?
No objection, states 1 and 2.
No objection, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Burbank, you've advised and counsel Mr. Baldwin. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, yeah.
And Mr. Baldwin, your attorney, Mr. Burbank has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Baldwin, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Do your own.
And what is the plea bargain agreement?
In exchange for plea of guilty or no contest, that you would recommend 40 days in the Jefferson County Jail and court costs. So that could 40 days, that's just to be time served, tax and retirement.
Mr. Baldwin, the state is offering that you serve 40 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 40 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Baldwin, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Baldwin, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Baldwin, you're going to stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the clerk's directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
I'm excused, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Burbank, I think this is your last case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
He's waiting, man. Hey, man. I probably keep that.
Session in 3 cases. Cause numbers M328-046, cause number M328-836, and cause number M330248. All three cases are styled of the state of Texas versus Amber Danae Croft. Is that correct? Mr. Croft, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Ms. Croft. You're represented in your case by your attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
Good, Judge, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. And the state is represented by Attorney Cole Hallpower. Again, Mr. Hallpower, how are you doing?
Good, y'all.
And we have Mr. Garrett Gilliam, who's here on behalf of the Jefferson County Probation Officer. Mr. Gilliam, how are you doing?
Well, thank you, sir.
Mr. Galmore, what's your announcement? And Ms. Cross?
Well, Judge, we spoke with the state. There's at least one unfiled case that still is part of this entire situation. I spoke with intake. They said they just recently received the lab results on that case. So they will
On the
be-
DWI?
DWI, so they will be filing that soon.
Okay,
We've received an offer today. Then we'll speak with Ms. Croft about. It would include wrapping up that case as well, but it's unfiled and we haven't done discovery. But we think we'll be able to do that here pretty quickly now. They're gonna have that file.
okay,
And Your Honor, obviously the court knows as well as, I think it's better for everybody is rather than do something now and then something come up, we do it all at one time. So therefore we ask for a brief reset so that we can have that filed and we can resolve. I've given an offer to resolve everything and to do it truncated is not.
right. Well, let me ask a question. I know you said it was one unfiled case, but in the motion alleges three unfiled cases. One is the failure to identify, one of the next one is evading detention.
All those are.
All of those gonna be filed? That's what you're saying?
My understanding is just failed to ID and the DWI that we know. Just, and because
Because I see, yeah,
those, I'll let the court know, they're already, they have a case and everything, meaning that like they don't have a case number, but they're ready to have a case number assigned. Once we file the information, all the documents have been downloaded into Odyssey. So that tells me that that's what we're gearing up to file that for the information. That's what we're waiting on. So when me and Mr. Galmore discussed is to wait for
Okay.
those, therefore we can resolve all of it. And Ms. Croft won't have anything, she won't have anything that's left. So that she's done with everything she's got.
right. So, but what my question is, the unfiled cases, I know you mentioned two, but according to this, here's
But-
three.
But that's not
Is that a-
controlling, and I don't know.
No,
what
I know
the
it's not
evading-
controlling,
I don't
but
know what the evading.
If it's out there, we need to make sure that's wrapped up as well. That's all I'm saying.
For sure, and I've looked at that to make sure, and
Well, maybe it's not, it may not even be a case. I don't know.
They're all from the same date though, I believe.
Yeah, no, all of them, that's what I'm saying. All of them on the same
It's
day,
not
September
on-
6th.
only the fail ID and the DWI, the other one isn't.
Yeah.
What I think it is, now I'll check, is that got refused,
Oh, okay,
the other one did. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
not like it's not something
okay,
from another agency or anything like
right,
that.
right. Okay. So, how much time we need?
30 days to make sure. And I'll
Okay,
keep
give us a
going.
reset.
October 4th.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to October 4th, Ms.
How
Crawl.
much, evading arrest? Is that it? Evading arrest?
Right,
That's the
So
other.
that's it, so it's three.
right. Okay,
So is that one, is that one got a number of it or not?
No, none of them have a number.
It's just waiting.
She was just arrested on all three.
all three of them, you should listen to all three of them at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna reset Ms. Crawl to November,
No,
excuse me, October?
it was October 4th.
October 4th, okay. Okay, Ms. Croft, case will be reset to October 4th. Your attorney's gonna get your recess. Once you get your recess from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you free to go as well, Mr.
Talk to you.
Galmore. Is, okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session. Cause number M326-744. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Alice Marie Broughton. Ms. Broughton was scheduled to be in court this morning for 9 a.m. for the court's motion to revoke probation docket. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Alice Broughton at the courthouse door. Alex Broughton did not answer. Alex Broughton has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 10:46 a.m. on today's date of September 6th of 2023. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Alex Broughton at the courthouse door?
Alice Bronson, Alice Bronson, Alice Bronson.
No answer, Your Honor.
Alice Broughton's name was just called again at the courthouse door. Alice Broughton did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Ms. Broughton an opportunity to appear in court. She has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
That was bond court.
That motion will be granted. Alice Broughton's bond will be forfeited and a warrant shall be issued for her arrest in cause number M326-744. Next case is cause number M314636. The case is now the state of Texas versus Robert Simmons. Robert Simmons was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's motion to revoke probation docket. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Robert Simmons at the courthouse door. Robert Simmons did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Simmons an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. The time now is 10:48 a.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Robert Simmons at the courthouse door?
Robert Simmons, Robert Simmons, Robert Simmons. No answer, Your Honor.
Okay. Robert Simmons' name was just called at the courthouse door, again by the court's bailiff. Robert Simmons did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Simmons an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
That was bond.
That motion will be granted. Robert Simmons' bond will be forfeited and a warrant for his arrest shall be issued in cause number M314636. And this will conclude the calling of the bond forfeitures at this time on in County Court at Law number 2. Court will be in recess. Next case is cause number M329453, case is styled the state of Texas versus DeQuincy Dwayne Johnson. DeQuincy Johnson was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., the court bailiff called the name of DeQuincy Johnson at the courthouse door. DeQuincy Johnson did not answer. DeQuincy Johnson has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. The time now is 10:50 a.m. on today's date of September 6th, 2023. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of DeQuincy Johnson at the courthouse door?
Johnson, Johnson, Johnson. No answer, Your Honor.
DeQuincy Johnson's name was just called at the courthouse door by the court's bailiff. DeQuincy Johnson did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Johnson an opportunity to appear in court, and he has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
That was bond.
That motion will be granted. DeQuincy Johnson's bond will be forfeited, and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest in clause number M329453. The court will be in recess